Hi guys, I'm Ronni and this is Multicultural Motherhood, the place where I talk about multicultural family life. If you're new to this channel, I am a homeschool mum of four, a British Muslim convert, and I live in the southwest of England. I post videos about twice a week, all about homeschooling, motherhood, and multicultural family life. I would love you to hit that subscribe button so you can follow along my motherhood and homeschooling journey. Now today I'm going to be talking about a really controversial topic, and that is, should Muslim converts celebrate Christmas? Now this is a subject that is really close to my heart and quite difficult for me. To be honest, before I became Muslim, I grew up a Catholic. And my family are very practicing, they still are. So I used to go to church every single Sunday, and Christmas was a really big time for my family. We went to church not just because that's what British people do. We did it actually from a religious perspective. We went to church, we talked about it being the birthday of Jesus, and we had the nativity scene set up in our home and things like that. So we really did do it properly, not just for the gifts and things like that. We really took it seriously as a family. Christmas, I remember it just used to be my favourite time of year. I love winter time anyway. I love autumn, winter. They're like my favourite seasons. And there's just something really magical about Christmas, isn't there? I mean, the music, the atmosphere, it's just a lovely time of year. And I remember before I actually became Muslim, I actually had to think about it really hard because, I knew as a Muslim, we don't celebrate Christmas. So before I converted, I remember thinking long and hard, is this something that I could actually give up? Because, it was my favourite time of year and I just wanted it always to be a part of my life. I would go so far as to saying it was one of those things that held me back from converting for a while, and one of those things that made me question my decision, because I just couldn't see myself not taking part in this celebration. But at the same time, I knew that being Muslim was the right thing for me to do. So in the end, obviously, I did become Muslim, alhamdulillah. And if you would like to check out my conversion story video, I will leave a link to that down in the description box below so you can check that out as well. So anyway, once I started thinking about converting to Islam, one of the things I had to think about was, would I be able to give up Christmas? And why should I actually give up Christmas? Well, as you all probably know, Christmas is celebrating the birthday of Jesus. It's a Christian festival, and Christians believe that Jesus is the Son of God. So they make a big thing about celebrating his birthday. And as Muslims, we do not believe that Jesus is the Son of God. We believe he is a prophet. So he's a prophet sent by God to guide mankind, just as Muhammad, peace be upon him, was also sent as a messenger for us. But we don't celebrate Muhammad, peace be upon him's birthday. At least I don't anyway. I know some Muslims do choose to do this. I personally do not celebrate Muhammad's birthday. So why therefore would I celebrate Jesus's birthday? And also we know that the 25th of December probably was not the time of Jesus's birthday anyway. So it's just kind of a random date that the Christians decided to adopt as their festival. And this was probably because when the Romans came and invaded England, in order to try and convert the people that were living here to Christianity, they took one of their festivals, which was Yule, a pagan festival, and turned it around a bit to become Christmas. So I think this was one of their ways to try and convert the British people that were living at that time. So yeah, if we go back even further, before it was a Christian festival, it was actually a pagan festival called Yule, and this was a festival that celebrated the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. And the reason they used to celebrate this was because they knew that after that point, the days would then be getting longer, and then it would be good for growing food and veg, and things would become easier. It would become warmer. So this is kind of why the pagans used to celebrate Yule, or the winter solstice. So anyway, we know as Muslims that we should only celebrate the 2 Eids. And that is the Eid that's at the end of Ramadan and the Eid 2 months after that at the end of Hajj, which is the pilgrimage. And you know, I have really tried hard with my own children to make Eid as fun as Christmas used to be for me. So we do make a big thing of it. During Ramadan, we count down the days, a bit like what I used to do as a Christian when we were counting down the days to Christmas in Advent. And also I just try to make Eid a really big celebration for my children, so that they don't kind of feel left out by things at Christmas time. But going back to Christmas, in Britain, I feel that it's really difficult to blank out Christmas completely because, you know, it's everywhere you go. No matter where you go, you will see signs of Christmas. There are Christmas lights up in the streets. People's houses are decorated with Christmas lights. If you go shopping, they'll be playing Christmas music. On the radio, they'll be playing Christmas music. Christmas is just everywhere. And I think, you know, it just gets earlier and earlier each year. I mean, in September, they kind of start bringing out Christmas stuff in the shops, don't they? So it's impossible, to be honest, as a Muslim to completely blank out Christmas because it is there and your children will be asking you about it when they're hearing Christmas songs in the shops or seeing the Christmas lights up. So you're going to have to know what to say to your children. So after I became Muslim, I knew that I couldn't celebrate Christmas anymore. And I remember the first year actually that I was Muslim, the first Christmas after I became Muslim, it was the only time that I completely withdrew from the festivities, and that was because I remember there was a Kurdish concert organised in London on Christmas Day because, you know, Christmas Day is the only day when everything is closed, like, and everyone is off work. So often in the Kurdish Turkish community that my husband is from, there will be events organised on Christmas Day. A lot of people choose to get married on that day, or they do concerts or things like that. So I remember the first Christmas after I became Muslim, there was a massive Kurdish concert organised for that day. So I told my family, you know, I'm going to London, I'm going to this concert, and that got me out of it completely. But since then, we haven't been to anything like that on Christmas Day. I don't know whether they still do it. It was quite fun actually. I don't know whether they still do it. It'd be interesting to find out. But you know, if you don't have anything planned, if you don't have anything else planned that day, it is really difficult. I think born Muslims really don't understand how difficult it is for Muslim converts at this time of year because there are certain expectations on us from our families, and you can't get rid of those. I mean, families are always going to expect things from their family members. For Muslim converts, it's really like you feel kind of pulled between 2 realities, your past and your present. It's really hard to ignore those traditions that you were brought up with, but equally, you know that you can't celebrate anymore and you can't do the same things that you used to do. It's really hard to ignore family ties, and in Islam, we shouldn't anyway. In Islam, family ties are extremely important. So it's really important to try and maintain those family ties, try and have a really good relationship with your family. Keeping up with those relationships with your family is essential. Therefore, just because you're a Muslim, you shouldn't turn your back on your family. Born Muslims have told me many times that I should steer clear of my family around Christmas time. I shouldn't go to their house on Christmas Day. I shouldn't give them presents. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do that. I mean, I remember someone saying to me, don't go to your family's house on Christmas Day because they'll be drinking alcohol. Go the next day instead. Why wouldn't they be drinking alcohol on another day? I mean, just because it's Christmas doesn't mean that's the only time of the year they drink alcohol. To be honest, my family aren't big drinkers anyway. A couple of my siblings who are not Muslim don't even drink alcohol anyway. So for me, alcohol is not really an issue, like it may be with other families of Muslim converts. But really, alcohol has nothing to do with it. Why shouldn't I go to my family's house on Christmas Day? Everyone's off work. It's the one day when all of the family get together because everyone is off work. Even if you're a Muslim family, chances are you're going to be visiting your family on that day because everyone's off work. I mean, chances are you're going to be having a big family get together, whether you're non-Muslim or Muslim. So, I mean, just because I'm a convert, why should I not spend time with my family on Christmas Day? Also, people have said to me, I shouldn't have Christmas dinner with my family. But what is the problem with sharing food with your family? I mean, I go to visit my parents most Sundays for a roast dinner. So really, Christmas Day, having a roast dinner is no different to that. At the end of the day, it's all about your intention. Intention is the most important thing. If you are going to visit someone with the intention of celebrating Christmas, then that is wrong. But if I'm just going to visit my family, to have a family meal, to have dinner together, if that is my intention, then that's the most important thing, isn't it? If my intention is not to celebrate Christmas, that's the most important thing. Without the intention of celebrating Christmas, it could be any other day, couldn't it? It could be any day that you're just getting together with your family and having a nice meal and having a nice time together. My intention is simply to go to my family's house and to share a meal with my family. That is my one and only intention on Christmas Day. I am not intending to celebrate Christmas. I am simply going to have a nice family get together. I think the older I get also, the more I realise that family ties are so important. We have a responsibility to Allah, absolutely. He is the creator, but Allah also said to us that we need to maintain family ties. So we also are responsible for this, and it is our duty to be kind to our families. It's really important not to forget that. I know other converts that would just completely steer clear of their family on Christmas Day or during the Christmas period. But, you know, what is that actually making their families think? What are their families then going to be thinking about Muslims and about Islam? I don't think it's really going to give them a good impression at all, to be honest. So really, to conclude, we cannot forget about the past, but also we have to be mindful of what our responsibilities and duties are now and what our religion tells us to do as Muslims. Which means that we cannot full-blown celebrate Christmas. I mean, if you were to come to my house right now, we have a week to go until Christmas. There are no signs of Christmas at all in my house. I do not have decorations up. I do not have a Christmas tree. There is nothing to commemorate the festival of Christmas at my house. But, you know, when we go to my family's house, of course they have a Christmas tree up and they have Christmas cards everywhere because they celebrate Christmas. And I have to respect them, and they also respect me. So they respect the fact that I don't have a house full of Christmas things when they come and visit me. So what I'm really trying to say is we just need to find a balance between what we are allowed to do as Muslims and also the expectations that our family have on us. And we need to be aware of the importance of family ties and not creating an atmosphere or bad feelings within our own family unit. So I hope that gives you something to think about. I would love to know what you thought of this video. Let me know in the comments if you do the same kind of thing, what you think about this. I know it is such a hard time of year for Muslim converts, but you know, we need to find that balance. That's the most important thing, finding a balance. If you found that balance, what does it look like? Let me know down in the comments below. I would love to read through them and see your opinions and thoughts on this topic. Let me know what you do. Do you go and see your family? Do you steer clear? What are your reasons for that? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to my channel to follow along my motherhood journey. Also, don't forget to check out my Instagram account at Multicultural Motherhood because I'm posting on there all the time the kind of things that I'm getting up to on a daily basis with my children. Also, I did do a related blog post to this, so I'm going to leave a link for that down in the description box below as well, so do go and check that out. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!